Hey everybody. All right, I'm Meg from LovenStamps and it is Tuesday. I was a little confused last week. I think I thought Thursday was Tuesday. Anyway, today is Tuesday and I have a new thing, a whole new set of things to show you. So of course, fun things came in the mail and I am getting to share them with you today because today is the day that they are live. These are online exclusives from the new release that just started today, November 7th. And the link is in the video description for the ones that I'm using. But if when you go to the online store, you can click on online exclusives up there at the top and go ahead and check them all out. So, all right, with that, are you guys ready to see all the goodies? Okay, so I'm gonna show you some of the goodies now. I'm gonna show you some of the goodies as we go along, and then I'll show you more of the goodies at the end. And then there are goodies that I don't even have. So this is the Fluffiest Friends stamp set. And these little characters are super sweet. They have all kinds of fun little accessories, and they are the most fun to use with Stampin Blends Markers, which do not be afraid. I'm gonna give you great tips today. It's like 1, 2, 3, and you're gonna love it. And I'm adding like an extra little 4 in there, which is like the chef's kiss at the end. So anyway, hang on for those. Don't panic about Stampin Blends Markers. Then to go with these are always dangerous to hold up. Dies that match our Fluffiest Friends because we are going to place them in a special scene. So raise your hand or leave a comment if you have a favorite 80s cartoon where the cartoon style was known for having beautiful oil painted or watercolored or beautiful painted backgrounds, and then the cartoon cell was put over the front and it was like line drawing, picture Scooby Doo. They're like, running through the haunted forest. The forest is haunted, beautifully painted in the background, and then the front is like flat, right? There's no contouring or shading or anything. So we're gonna up our game one little bit because we're gonna use Stampin' Blends Markers to add some shading, but we are going to put our friends in the Meandering Meadows DSP. So this is new out today too, and it is part of a suite that I'll show you at the end. It is really not meant for Fluffiest Friends, but darn it, I think they're really cute in there. So we're gonna use this paper today, and I'll show you a little bit more of that as we go. So with that, good morning. Hey, Tanya and Becky. We're ready to switch cameras here and get started. So, all right, like I said, this is the Meandering Meadows paper. You get 4 sheets of each of the designs. The back sides are these really pretty like watercolors. The fronts are oil. Maybe they're, I don't know. I'm not a painter. I'm not like an art person. They're beautiful though. Lots of cool scenes. And some of them make me think like, okay, this is where I would put my like stamped greeting or stamped accent or something like that. Some of them, like this one, make me think, oh my gosh, you know what fits right here? A Fluffiest Friend. I think for sure that we need to match these up with cute characters. So I'm gonna show you that. And let's go through the rest of these papers. So more. Anything with like a little water, I think maybe, I can't tell if it's water or a path. Either way, it's really pretty. Water in the background, so that makes me think about our little beaver friend. The meadows here make me think about the rabbits, the bunny. Let's see, where's Fluffiest Friends? You can try and pair them as we go. The bunny, the little hamster, he could sit anywhere, right? Balloons, these are just gorgeous florals here. And these are, when Stampin' Up! Comes out with papers like these, they're painted by artists at Stampin' Up! And then photographed. So I love the talent that they're showcasing. Some of the florals are flat backgrounds. Oh, Betty, I'm glad you're excited about this. Hi, Kelly. Let's see, some more. There's another lake. That could be a beaver card. More beaver friend possibilities. And all of the florals, of course, would go with our little kitty friend. So those are the papers. So you get 4 of each of the patterns in the package. Can't get it. And this is 6x6 paper. And so let's go ahead and I'm going to talk about how to find the scenery in this after we make our characters. So let's go ahead. I think we're going to start with our beaver friend, and we're going to stamp. When you use Stampin' Blends Markers, you always want to use the Memento ink. It is the black water-based ink pad. People think, oh wait, StazOn. Don't you use StazOn for watercoloring? Yes, but use StazOn with watercolor. You use Memento with Stampin Blends Markers, okay? So alcohol-based markers, water-based ink. If you're using an alcohol-based ink like StazOn, then you're gonna use your watercolor. So Betty, Betty thinks I have art training. Nope, I just play one on TV. All right, so we are going to, but to be fair, like I've taken art classes in different places over the years, but mostly it's kind of thinking about what I like and what I'm seeing. So I encourage you, anybody can do it. I am not a formal artist, and so you don't have to be either. All right, so with that in mind, let's go with our beaver friend here. I'm gonna scoot in on Fluffiest Friends here. There we go. And we are going to do some coloring. Now, the paper that I'm going to put our Fluffiest Friends in is, let's see, I want this yellow, this one. I want this one, okay? So I'm gonna pull some tones from here. You can see that there is a little bit of brown in here, and then I think our friend doesn't have a lot of color to him. Like, he's not carrying the flower pot like the kitty, or like a bright balloon, like with a hamster. So we're gonna have limited color there, but we can bring that out in our card bases. And then we have these browns and oranges. So I'm gonna pull in copper clay as sort of our brown and orangey. And then I like to have another layer of color. So I'm gonna bring in the bronze and ivory pair. This is a great combo to have for adding dark and light highlights to things. And then this color lifter is going to be our very best friend as we are working on this project. So, all right, so let's look here with our steps. So first step is to take your lightest color and give a watercolor wash. It's not really watercolor, but give a wash background to saturate your paper. You'll notice I don't usually have my grid paper in the background, but when you're using alcohol markers, they will, I'm just gonna go ahead and cover over most of everything. They will saturate the paper. That's what they're supposed to do. You can see in the brush strokes. And so I wanna make my brush strokes in line with like the way his fur is laying, and around like the contours of his face. Keep your brush strokes in line with the project. Don't just color back and forth like our Crayola style. Okay, so then the next darkest, I'm gonna go back, and this one is going to be his sort of body color, and I'm gonna go over most of it. I'm going to, because I really want him to be I want his facial features there, his little snout to be that lighter color, and his hands and feet and his tail, but I'm gonna go next darkest over here. All right. Now you're thinking, like, Meg, I thought you said that you weren't gonna make it flat like the cartoon Scooby Doo characters. That's right, we're getting there. So with alcohol markers, as I said, I have the grid paper down because your paper will get saturated with the ink. That is how the blending works. So you can see there on the back, see that saturation. So as we go darker, I'm gonna do a little bit less and less. So this is the dark copper clay marker now. And lest you be nervous, like, how do you know where to put that? These are, all these little slashes here, these are color here lines in Stampin' Up. At least that's what I call them in Stampin' Up terms. These are the ones that the stamp artist put in place to say color here. This is a shadow, color here, okay? So I'm using those color here lines with my darker marker here. This is the darker, yep, to add extra color. And I'm gonna add just a little bit, oops, I think I wanted to use the other one, that's okay. There, and now I'm gonna go back and I'm going to color at the intersection between those tones with the sort of the next lighter marker, okay? So you see how his face is taking shape? See how his nose is sticking out and then the sides of his face are kind of receding into the background? That's what you get. So 1, the light color wash, 2, color here, on the color here lines, and 3 is go back and color at the intersection, okay? I know I promised you 4 today, so hang on, we're gonna get there. All right, his beaver tail. Now, I like that there is some depth of color here, but I feel like it could be a little more. I'm gonna add the bronze marker here. I'm gonna color darkly with a bullet tip. Love 2 tips of these markers over our sticks so that they have just a little bit different color to them, okay? And then I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna add more color. So if you feel like there's not, this is the dark copper clay again, if you feel like there's not enough variation in what you've colored, you can always layer more color on. Now, the next sentence of that is you can never take color off, but that is just not true either. So hang in there, we're gonna get to the taking color off part. Like what? All right, so we're gonna get this nice and dark around the edges. I'm gonna do one more color at the intersection round to kind of blend that. All right, and then this is the part where we take our color off. So I have my color lifter now. This doesn't happen instantly, so you have to be a little bit careful to color and then wait, all right? So I am going to color a little bit around his belly, and I'm gonna color a little bit around the heart so that it emphasizes that here in our project, okay? All right, now you see over time, see how it's developing there, that sort of color lifter technique is coming out. I'm not gonna do a ton until I wait and see what I get out of my first application. So there I've gone and done a little bit around his cheeks, maybe his upper arms, that's kind of like towards us, right? The parts of the image that are most towards us are gonna be the lightest. And so I'm gonna add a little bit more there. Maybe I'll include his eyes now to pull a little bit of color out from there so that his whole face is kind of lit up. And you see how that's developing slowly. It's really kind of coming back into its own. So basically we're lifting a little color out of there. So you have one color lifter, good for everything. All right, so now we're gonna take this and we are going to zoom back out again so you're not, there we go, too close. We're gonna pull the die here from this die set, and there's a die for each critter, so that makes it really simple. You don't have to sometimes when there used to be die sets where they'd have die for some of the characters, but not all of them, so you'd always see those are definitely the favorites of everyone's project, because the ones with the dies they would use, and the ones without dies would kind of lounge. They would just get lost in the stamp set. They'd never get taken out. Okay, so then we have our cute little die cut character, and let's go ahead and look at our paper, because now we want to figure out where on our paper to put our beaver friend. And then we have to trim our paper so that it fits with a card, right? Hey, Joan. Oh, thanks for sharing, Corinne. I really appreciate that. All right. So I need a piece of basic white cardstock. I always put the scraps back in the container so that I have them. And we're gonna need a greeting for this too. So let's, until we have our greeting, we can't really place our friend, but let's go ahead and look at the stamp set that I found for the perfect greeting. So, all right, so here's Fluffiest Friends, and here are the greetings for these. So, I love this. Sending you a big squeeze, right? Isn't this really just perfect? I love the hearts to go with it. I love let's see, enjoy the sweeter things in life. That's gonna be our rabbit friend greeting. Wishing you, oh here, thanks a bunch. Perfect with the little flowers. Oh, you can see I store extra things in my case. So yes, this stamp set is totally unrelated to Fluffiest Friends, but I love the font is a perfect match for this style here. A font with a really formal greeting style isn't necessarily going to match with a cartoon style here very well. You could get away with it because we're pairing it with a paper that's totally not cartooned, but as far as keeping these things connected, I really love this. So the zesty birthday, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a perfect match. Maybe the honey, it's sort of food related. Enjoy the sweeter things in life, like the honey bear, right? Okay, so if you don't have sweet citrus yet, it does come in a bundle with the, actually I don't know if it's a bundle because it was from past catalog, but it does match the sweet citrus hybrid folder and the fabulous dies that go along with it. This is just a beautiful stamp set. One that's a little different, right? If you get tired of doing flowers all the time. So Sweet Citrus. The other stamp set that I thought would be great with Fluffiest Friends is Charming Sentiments, just because these are sassy greetings, not necessarily in their message, like, you know, wishing you everything wonderful is not sassy, but the fonts are sassy. They go nicely with this sort of clever, cute thing here. Beyond Grateful, woohoo! Like these are really fun to go with these little characters. So, all right, but we're gonna go ahead and use the greeting here, which I've already put on a block. There we go. And I'm gonna use Sending You a Big Squeeze to go with our beaver buddy. And so there we have that. And then I'm picturing this on our sheet here. So now, how much space do I get on my card front? So this is where I have a trick for you. What I did was took an extra piece of grid paper and I chopped out from the center a framing block. And what this does is lets me kind of look around, like, do I want him down here in the flowers? Well, probably not, because I don't have any skyline there. The flowers are pretty, but they're quite out of scale for him. Not like the scale is going to matter. What if I put it all the way at the top? Then our beaver buddy is going to cover up all of our water, so we don't really want that. So I want to be able to place our beaver friend here where it's going to be below the water line so we can still see the water and just have a good chance to frame our project. So, thanks. I'm glad you like it. Okay, so we're going to, Dawn, it's good to see you too. So we're going to go ahead and use this. So what I'm going to do is just hold my frame and then kind of peel back from the side here to see, oh, you guys can't see, sorry. Peel back here like so to see how much I'm going to cut off, and handily I have like a ruler here, so I think that's probably what, like 3 centimeters I'm going to chop off the bottom, and so then I can kind of work from there, and I want it to be all the way at the right, so that really narrows down my focus. So what do we say, about 3 centimeters? Sorry, I don't know why I'm speaking metric this morning. Don't mean to throw you all off, and of course this could be part of our inside of our card. And then I want this to be, I'm going to make a double layer. So I'm going to make it, whoa, almost did that wrong. I'm going to make it 5 inches here. And so that's going to fit on a double mat. You'll see in a minute. And then this is going to be 3 3/4. So we have 3 3/4 by 5. And I have all of these scraps here, which then I will put back in the container to use for some other future fun project. And then, like I said, we wanted to bring in the colors to go with these. So I love the idea of the Fresh Freesia background here. So you can see the purple flowers here. I'll show you without. So here's without and here's with. Those purple flowers like jump off of the page. And that is one of the features of the Stampin' Up! Color system. It really, really makes a difference to have matching cardstock and ink and Stampin' Blends Markers to just match all of your things so that things come together really smoothly. All right, so let's go ahead and pop some Stampin' Dimensionals under our greeting strip. Because remember, we're sort of mimicking that cartoon style of the Smurfs. Oh, did people have their favorite cartoon? What's your favorite 80s cartoon? The Smurfs, the Scooby Doo. I guess Scooby Doo is pretty early for 80s. I think he continued on into from the 70s, right? I don't know. I should have done my research. My cartoon research is somewhat suspect here. Sorry about that. And then we're going to pop our beaver friend here. Okay, now here's another magic trick for you. So there we have the very pretty purple there, but watch the yellow flowers when I pop this behind here. So see how those yellow flowers, all of a sudden they have so much more strength than they do here without. Like, yes, they're pretty here, but now with the Daffodil Delight that matching, that really jumps off the page. So I'm going to add some multi-purpose liquid glue to the back here. You guys know that this is my favorite glue. And then we're gonna layer this on top. So I have couple other things to show you, so don't go anywhere. All right, we're gonna pop some dimensionals here on the back. So the accents here we need to add to our cute beaver card is going to, you can accent with anything because pretty much we've opened the doors here to this little bit of like stylistic mismatch, but I think it works. You guys think it works? And then he has a home here because he's kind of connected to our greeting. So he's really there on top of things, literally. All right, so then I used copper clay for our coloring, and we have this sort of pretty orangey brown in the background. So I'm gonna bring in my in color dots. These are the 23 to 2025 in color dots. And I thought long and hard about this. Usually I accent you always want your embellishments to accent your main point, your focal point of your card. And I thought about accenting the greeting, but really our beaver is our focal point. So I'm gonna drop my 3 accent pieces here, and they're pretty subtle because they don't show up a ton, but I'm gonna put them around our little beaver friend. So there we have our cute little beaver friend. And you can see where those color lifter points just really nicely developed the color in our friend. All right. Now, of course, we need something for the inside of our card. So I have a sample here where I stamped and then I used wild wheat to do a cute little bird, so you can write your message there, sending you a big squeeze, and then whatever occasion you want to send your big squeeze for. And then let's go ahead and look at one more. We're going to do one more color sample here. I need another piece of basic white cardstock. Here's one. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we are going to do some coloring here on our rabbit friend. So let's grab our rabbit friend with our cupcake, and then I'll show you we'll do some coloring here so that you can see one more sample of that. Now for this card, I want to use a different paper. I'm going to use this paper. I really like the idea of like the pink cupcake kind of thing. So I'm going to use this paper that has a lot of pink in it. And the pink is Melon Mambo. If you're not super up on all the colors, you could, of course, consult the Stampin' Up! Catalog and sort of look at the color charts in there. But we're going to go with Melon Mambo for this. So I've got my Melon Mambo markers. And then I see this as more of a grays. There's not a lot of browns in here. I see like purples and blues and gray. So I'm going to bring in some gray here, smoky slate. And what did I grab? Dark smoky slate, and then gray granite, which is a great grays combination. And then I actually have pebbled path here too, which we might, if we want to get really dark, we'll add some pebbled path. So, all right, so let's bring our rabbit friend in here. Yeah, Tanya is saying the daffodil does really pop the flowers. Yes, it does. All right, my camera is not cooperating. There we go. All right, so I'm actually gonna do light color first and color our cupcake. So this is a really, really strong color, okay? And then I'm gonna use the dark, and I'm just going to go ahead and do the bottom part, and we're gonna come back to this a little bit later. All right, so now let's go ahead and do our light of, what do I have here? Light gray granite. I'm gonna go ahead and do a full color wash, kind of like we did with our bear friend, and get all of our color saturated. So I didn't really explain, but the reason you do this color wash first is if you think about, you don't want the pigment to grab the paper, you want the pigment to be floating in the paper. And so I'll go ahead and do his little snout. By saturating it with the alcohol and the color, then you have the chance to float that color a little bit later in your process. So if you start with a dark color, it's really hard to float that color out of the paper and to float it around on the paper and to get a good blend. So that's why you always want to start with a light color and saturate your paper so that you have a really great chance to move that paper around. Or move that color pigment around. All right, so now I'm gonna go back here with our smoky slate and add some extra like shading along the edges. And then I think we're gonna color at the intersection, right? That's our strategy when we're doing color layering. We're gonna color at the intersection, and you can kind of see it kind of come together in the shape of the character here. So we're gonna color here. Use my color here lines, okay? And I'm gonna see, do a little more coloring here on feet. And now I feel like it's a little bit flat. I want it to be a little darker. So I'm gonna go really dark here with just a little bit of pebbled path. And I know like you're looking at this and going, oh, what'd you do? You're ruining it. Hopefully not. There's always that moment of panic, right? But hopefully not. So I'm using the color here lines and doing this pretty sparingly because think about how much pigment you're applying and how much work you're gonna have to move that. And then I'm gonna do something a little crazy. I'm gonna add a little pink in his ears and on the bottom of his feet. And now when I do my coloring at the intersection, right, to blend that color in, then I'm gonna have a chance to smooth that color around and blend that there. And you see as I like color over the same spot, it really spreads that pigment as the alcohol runs and runs through the paper. So that is our cool process here. All right, so now I think that's pretty decent. Actually, let me see. I might go one darker. I think the pebbled path here, I might do one extra little color at the intersection with pebbled path and get this a little bit more, okay. And now go back with the gray granite, or the, light gray granite. I keep saying gray granite. Yep, light gray granite. I thought for a second I had smoky slate. So, all right, so now we have sort of some rounded shading here in our little bunny. And then, of course, our last step that we're adding for these characters is to use our color lifter. And I'm going to run a ring around our cupcake to make the cupcake pop out on our friend. Okay, let's see. And I think he needs his toes. So I'm gonna add just little dark spots here for his feet. All right, so we see we have our little, oh, and I think he needs pink nose, right? I think he needs pink nose. Okay, there we go. All right, so then our little bunny friend here, you can see that color lifter is continuing to develop and you can really see where it helps that cupcake to jump out a little bit. All right, so we're going to go ahead and die cut our bunny friend and then use our window placement sheet. So remember, make yourself a little window, figure out where your bunny's gonna sit. Is he gonna sit down here in the flowers? Actually, that's not bad, and then you'd have the distance way back there. But I kind of like him to sit a little bit at the midline. So this is, I think, about where I would go ahead and cut. And then we're going to use the Enjoy the Sweeter Things greeting here to go with our cupcake, Enjoy the Sweeter Things in Life from Sweet Citrus, and pair him with two colors. We're going to go ahead and do a Melon Mambo card base, which really jumps out those pink flowers. But then I want it to be a little bit softer there with a lavender, so I'm gonna bring that lavender in also. And mount our friend, and there we go. So there is our Enjoy the Sweeter Things in Life bunny. I added the smoky slate dots from, not smoky slate, those must be Pebbled Path from the In Color collection. And then we have a little cardinal friend here at the bottom of our card. So there we go. So that gives us our two projects with this set of supplies here. Again, kind of a mix and match of the things that are in the online release that just came out today. So if you're just jumping in, there are new online release. The link is in the comments here or on Facebook if you're watching live. And there are new online release things that are out today. So as with online exclusives, you never know how long things will last. You might need to act quickly so you don't miss out on things. Sometimes they go quickly. There's a soda stamp set that I think is absolutely darling that was one of the things we couldn't get as demonstrators ahead. So I don't have it to play with. But I think it's going to be really hot and it's really cute too. I love a good pun. You guys know that in me. But let me zoom out because I have more things to share with you. So let me bring in my Stampin' Up! Box and just whack my camera there. And I'm going to show you the other stuff from this pre-order. These are the things, well, not pre-order. Now it's live now. But these are the Garden Meadow Suite items. So these are the ones that are meant to go as a suite with the Designer Series paper. Now, if you go to look in the shop, you will see that this suite is unavailable for ordering. That is because these little elements, they are the adhesive back dragonflies and birds. They're out of stock, so they're not available. So you can't order the suite as a whole, but you can if you are in love with this Garden Meadow gates and so forth. You can go ahead and get this one still, and this pretty ribbon trim to match it. And let me show you these dies here because they include not only the things that are in the stamp set, but they include some really great elements that you can add to your framing, because these are them. Actually, I should have used this we could have used these with our Fluffiest Friends. So here is a giant window. There is a garden gate. There are like the little trowels and so forth I'll put them next to each other. The trowels and so forth. So if you're a gardener, this is just a must-have. Oh, I love these little quail. They're really cute. And not as cute as Fluffiest Friends, though. And then a great set of greetings. I can't imagine a better friend, thinking of you. Every day is a fresh start, and so forth. So the gate's really pretty. You can layer the gate with a window. You can layer the window with these fun mountain and sort of greenery dies. Lots and lots of good possibilities for that. So, but I had to show you the cute Fluffiest Friends. So as always, don't wait to grab your online exclusives because they have a tendency to go kind of on the speedy side. All right, was there anything else that I needed to tell you about today? I feel like that was us for today. So hope you have your week is off to a great start. I hope the rest of your week goes well. I will be back on Thursday for another Maker Mornings with Meg video. And I think I'm gonna make some more of these cards. I really, really love these Fluffiest Friends cartoon things. So I haven't seen everyone's favorite 80s cartoon yet, so make sure you post those in the comments. I don't know, do I have the wrong decade? 70s cartoons, 90s cartoons? Basically the cartoons that have that sort of stage where the background is beautiful, like painted artwork, and the front is like a cartoon cell over the top. So that's what we're going for today. All right, hope you enjoyed this 80s throwback, and I will let you know on Thursday about another fun project. So as always, holler if you have any questions. I'm happy to help you, and we'll talk to you soon. Happy stamping, everybody.